ladies and gentlemen, and being a producer of Wrestle Massacre as well as Inside Movies Galore, I am David Strege, and welcome to Delusions of Grandeur. Enjoy the reviews. I certainly did. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Delusions of Grandeur, and I am David Strege, and with my partner, Septum Sim versus the World, who I met online, and over many occasions of video reviews and whatnot, is coming across his 100th episode, and putting together a video of some of my most favorite collectibles, and I am one of those hardcore collectors, so I'd like to present Exhibit A. This one is hard to find, and this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Hercules films on it. They call it The Adventures of Hercules, and it's from TriStar. When it was Trimark Home Video, they used to do a bunch of box sets for DVD that were kind of cool. And this has Hercules versus the Hydra, Hercules versus the Sons of the Suns, the Sun, Hercules versus the Moloch, Medusa versus the Son of Hercules, Lion of Thebes, the Triumph of Hercules, and the Trojan Horse. Now, the Trojan Horse, I believe you can actually find on other Mill Creek collections, which I used to collect a lot of Mill Creek stuff too, but that's Exhibit A. Let's move on to Exhibit B, shall we? I'll be right back. It's hard to get at this particular box set, but I will attempt to try to get it down from its location here. I put it up here in the back here because it is one of my most prized collections. And I did open it. I mean, I know that technically it is worth more if it's not opened, but it is one of the more complete collections of Herschel Gordon Lewis's filmography, and this was an expensive set. It's the Shock and Gore set, and it's got a very cool box around it here. I'm going to open it for the third time I think I've ever opened it, so that we can see what's inside. And it is hard to get open here, so let me try to get it open. So the first thing we see here, when I open up this cover, is a book with eyes. And what this is this is a book that has different things in it about Herschel Gordon Lewis's career. So I'll just turn a few pages here. It is hard to try to show some of this, but it goes through a lot of his films, and it is a very unique book here. So the next thing in here that I see is a Blood Feast original soundtrack, which is on vinyl, which is kind of cool. It's got a side A and a side B, and it's got the music for the film. Here's the back of it. If you wanted to see if there was any kind of way to read what was on these things, I'm not even sure. So, yep. So that's the soundtrack for it. Then, of course, there is a vomit bag. The vomit bag, and the price of one admission will enable you to see Shock and Gore, the films of Herschel Gordon Lewis, guaranteed to upset your stomach. Very fun gag. Next in here is a prop where it's an eyeball piece, like someone had pulled an eye socket. So here's what it looks like. Definitely cool. Another thing that's in this set is evidently this is the this is all about Blood Feast, and I think this is the entire. This is the illustrated version of Blood Feast, kind of like a book, a novel. I don't think this is the screenplay, but this is like the story of Blood Feast. So, it says, this is prize-winning author L.E. Murphy's satirical adaptation of the current controversial censored film, The Blood Feast, the story of an unspeakable ancient sexual torture, right brought to life now, and which stars Playboy's magazine playmate Connie Mason, and of which the National Insider newspaper said in advance reading, incredibly horrible. But Murphy's unique adaptation fuses the Marquis de Sade with unexpected Thorne Smith, or unexpurgated Thorne Smith. So, kind of a unique thing there. Then, of course, because it was part of something weird, many of the earlier films were part of something weird. These are some postcards, or definitely this one says something weird. Lust, passion surround the incredible supernatural worlds of ESP. And so these are basically like movie posters put in like postcard form. This one has The Taste of Blood. And How to Make a Doll. The Gorgor Girls. Color Me Blood Red. Blood Feast. This one says the gruesome twosome on it. This one says scum of the earth, which I didn't realize that was part of Herschel Gordon Lewis's. The Wizard of Gore, which is probably his most popular film in the horror, even though it was a totally bad film to some people. Some people believe it was like one of the precursors to gore, which is why he's considered the godfather of gore. She Devils on Wheels. So you definitely have some original postcards here that were, and 2000 Maniacs, the original film, which is part of the Blood trilogy. So, yep. So I'm gonna package this back up here. Kind of some unique stuff here. And I believe that's it with some of the extras here. And the discs actually come in this thing, which this is the only thing that I don't like. I don't like the fact that they are in these sleeves like this. That's the biggest thing, because if you have them in these sleeves and you take them out a little bit by a little bit, that could scratch these discs. So, and some unique artwork on either side for every disc. So I thought that this was relatively cool. And let's see, the second one here. There's a second volume in this, and then another book. So it's kind of cool. I mean, it's got all these like nooks and crannies. So volume 2, that was volume 2. It was from 1968 to 1972, and then volume 1 is from 1963 to 1967. And then this book here, trying to get to it. This book says it's the Herschel Gordon Lewis annual take on the 2000 Maniacs. So I'm just trying to take a look at this book here. It says it's the annual look at 2001 Maniacs. So it's very thin. It's kind of like how thin the Dr. Seuss books used to be. And yeah, so some colorful stuff dealing with some of the movies. The Blood and Guts trilogy. Blood Feast. So I guess this is a little bit more about some of the stuff dealing with 2000 Maniacs and its trilogy. So kind of a interesting little book here. So I'm going to put this right back in here. And yeah, so that's the Herschel Gordon Lewis box set and all of its entails and entrails and Blood Feast stuff. So I think being able to collect this was very, very cool. And I'm just going to set all of this stuff back in here for a moment. It's very, very essential to take care of this box set. You never know what could go wrong if you take things out. And if you put your fingerprints all over it too much, it's going to lose its entire value. So, but Exhibit C, I would have to say, even though this is kind of like a bare bones DVD, I'm glad I picked this up. Lily Cat. This is one of my favorite animes. And I saw this on Sci-Fi Channel, and I could not for the life of me think of it. And thanks to Brandon, he was able to find out the name of this thing for me, because it was kind of like in between Thing and Alien and all that kind of jazz, and just a unique animation period. So thank you for that, and being able to help me figure out some of the images in my mind that I didn't know some of the titles to. So that I really think Brandon and his Septum Sim versus the World. So the next exhibits are D, E, and F. Well, actually, and G. And H, believe it or not. So right here I have my coffin collections. These are unique, at least to me. This is the Blind Dead collection, and what these are 4 Italian zombie films that were very, very different from any other zombie film. And it was directed by Armand de Osorio. Comes with this cool Knights of Terror little booklet. Let me show it to you real quick. This is a collector's edition, and I know it's a limited numbered thing. But I ended up buying it for like $40. I won it on eBay, and it was going out of print at the time. I mean, they now sell it in a 4-pack or whatnot, and even that is out of print. So, but this is Blue Underground's box a set of. This is based. This is something on the director, but the 4 films in here are Tombs of the Blind Dead, and this has both the Italian version and the English dubbed version. Just like Return of the Evil Dead, this has a dubbed version and an Italian version. I prefer watching them in their original languages. So I am very thankful to have this set. It's very cool looking. I mean, the only thing I'm missing is the backing of the thing, which I assume that it's somewhere around here. This is the Ghost Galleon, and then the 4th film is called Night of the Seagulls, which, there you have it. So now Ghost Galleon has been either called the Ghost Galleon or Ghost Ship or Ghost Dragoon, or it's been several different names. In fact, I think Mill Creek has a copy of the film on one of their horror film sets. So now these 3 coffin sets over here that I'm going to show to you are from the UK. This one is called the Norman Warren collection, and it has Satan's Slave, Inseminoid, Terror, and Prey. It's a 5-disc collector set, and it's in the shape of a coffin. And here's what the inside looks like. I mean, you've got these. The discs are falling off of this thing. That evidently, but I guess that's one thing that I don't like about this particular set is because they're very clumsy and flimsy. So, I mean, once I get this up and in there, I'm going to show you how the discs are set in there. So, here it comes. This is the way the discs are set in here. They're set in here like this. And it folds in like this. My thing is that it is flimsy. This one was, again, called the Norman Warren Collection. So that was that one. This one is from the UK as well. This one is called the Tegon Collection. This as well does do the same thing that the other one did, which I'm just going to put this together real quick. I mean, it's not too entirely fantastic. I think that this is a 6-disc set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, a 6-disc set, because this one goes right here. Sorry, I am trying to put this thing back together so that when I bring it up like this. Now the box is somewhat ripped, because probably due to her, the person I bought it from. She had many of these sets in her basement, so. But there again, it looks like that. So it folds back and goes like so. And these are Anchor Bay sets from the UK. So, and I've got several things from the UK that because my player behind me actually plays things from the UK and whatnot. So that's the Tegon Collection. That has Witchfinder General, The Body Stealers, The Haunted House of Horror, Blood on Satan's Claw, The Beast in the Cellar, and Virgin Witch on here. So this is another collection that is in the shape of a coffin. This is the Peter Walker Collection, and it's very similar to the other two. The only thing is, it is missing one disc, I believe. So Frightmare, The House of Whipcord, Die Screaming Marianne. So the comeback, I'm missing the comeback. That's what I'm missing. Now the next thing I ended up buying for $40 as well, off of eBay, and this This is in the shape of the coffin, and this is number 4,204 out of 10,000. Um, so that's what it says on the back of this. Now, this is the Coffin Joe trilogy from Brazil. Now, Coffin Joe was a character that had long nails, and he was like similar to Dracula for the Brazilians, and he actually goes back all the way to um, the 1960s. And what this set comes with is some very cool uh, comic book stuff for each film. And the first film is At Midnight, I'll Take Your Soul. It's like there was one for the box set itself, and then it came with all of these other comic books um, inside each. I'll be honest. At Midnight, I'll Take Your Soul was my favorite of the three so far. In like I said, in each one of these, and this set was put out by Phantoma, which this set is all region, I believe, and here is the comic book for that particular one, and this one was called This Night I'll Possess Your Corpse, and this third one, which they consider as part of the trilogy, is called Awakening the Beast. And here again, we have another comic book. So in this set, there are 4 comic books and then 3 films. So that is actually kind of cool. This was. I'm very proud of this set. I have another UK set that has Coffin Joe stuff that I could put in a video later. Yeah, that I'm very proud of this these sets. Now I'm going to show you a really cool edition of one of my favorite films. So give me 1 second, and I'll get that for you. I believe it's right over here. Oh shit. My copy of it is actually missing from here. But this is the dumbed down version of one of my favorite films. I'll have to definitely. But Sucker Punch, I actually have a version of Sucker Punch that has the extended version, the box set that this came in supposedly. I have it around here somewhere, but I can't exactly entirely find it. Now there is now Sucker Punch is about a girl who was put away for supposedly killing her mother, and yet she did not. She was innocent, and she ended up having to use her imagination to deal with the lecherous people that were involved in her incarceration, and she ultimately ended up being the sacrifice for another character in the film, and it was done really well. graphics were amazing, and I liked the storyline. Here is another collection, or two, that I'd like to. So these are many of Edison's original films from start to finish. It goes from 1889 to between 1888 and 1893. So there are a lot of things, as you can see, that this put together. It's a really nice set. Brandon has this. I mean, Septum Sim has the set. He knows what it's all about. So this I'm very proud of owning. It was out of print and hard to find. Very nice set to have. It's called The Invention of Movies, the Museum of Modern Art in cooperation with the Library of Congress. 140 Edison Company films, 2 hours of interviews, over 200 rare documents. So I'm very proud to own this particular set. Dan Curtis, who put together Dark Shadows for a long time. This was out of print, and I found a copy of it when it was out of print. It has a version of Dracula, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, a version of the picture of Dorian Gray, and a version of Henry James, The Turn of the Screw. So I absolutely enjoy Dan Curtis Productions. He is behind Trilogy of Terror, Trilogy of Terror 2, and Dark Shadows. And Dark Shadows is my ultimate favorite soap opera, and I have every single collection and volume of Dark Shadows as well, which I would love to get in this video, but he doesn't have that much. I don't want to put too much, so in any case, definitely check out Septum Sim vs. World. Happy 100th, and hopefully I don't take up too much time, so that you can enjoy the rest of what's happening. So I love to support my fellow film reviewers, and Brandon is Septum Sim is a very good friend of mine, and I'm glad that he is part of Inside Movies Galore and Delusions of Grandeur. We're intertwined, and as long as I know him, he will always be welcome, sharing views on my channel, and I on his. So in any case, like, share, and subscribe, and definitely check out some of the fascinating collection stuff that come with this 100th episode. Thank you so much.